before we dive into this powerful message, I want you to do something meaningful right now. If you're watching this, you're here for a reason. There's a blessing waiting for you, but it requires you to take an active step. So right now, hit that subscribe button and like this video. This isn't just about supporting the channel. It's about agreeing with the promise that God is about to reveal to you. When you like this video, you're declaring that you believe in the breakthrough coming into your life. You're agreeing with the powerful words you're about to hear, and as this message spreads, your faith will grow stronger. Let's make this moment count. Go ahead, do it now, and let's walk into your victory together. Now, let's talk about what's been weighing heavily on your heart. Your finances. You felt it, haven't you? The pressure, the struggle, and maybe even the shame that comes with it. The enemy knows exactly where to strike. He's not just attacking your bank account or your business. He's going after your peace, your confidence, and your trust in God's promises. And here's the thing. You may have noticed that it's never just about money. The enemy doesn't only want to touch your finances. What he really wants is to disrupt your faith. When he hits your wallet, it's not just an attack on your income. No, it's a direct assault on your hope, your sense of security, and your trust that God will provide. The enemy's goal is clear. He wants to weaken you, get you to question if God will really come through for you. But hear this, God is speaking right now. You've been under attack, yes, but the release that's coming for you won't just fix the money problems. It will restore everything that's been affected by this assault. God has a plan for your life that goes beyond what you've lost or the doors that have been closed. What he's preparing for you is a shield of protection that will cover your entire house. The enemy may have come against your pocketbook, but he cannot touch what God has wrapped in his care. It's like a farmer who plants seeds in a field, waits patiently for the harvest, but when the time comes to reap the fruits, strong winds and hungry birds come to snatch it all away. You've been there. You've sowed your efforts, your dreams, your hard work, only to watch it feel like it's being taken from you. But what you may not realize is that God, the ultimate farmer, has placed invisible walls around your field, protecting your harvest. Even when it seems like the enemy is swarming like a flock of birds, he will not breach what God has set in place to guard your blessings. Let me remind you of something powerful in the Word. Remember when the people of Israel were in the desert, surrounded by nothing but scarcity? They had no food, no water, no visible future ahead. But do you know what happened? God sent manna from heaven and water from the rock. It wasn't just about food. It was a living reminder that nothing can stop God's provision. In the same way, God is opening rivers in the middle of your desert and causing gardens to bloom where there once was only dust. The enemy may have attacked your finances to try and rob you of your joy, but God is working behind the scenes to provide you with abundance, not just for you, but for everyone in your household. Think about it. The enemy wanted to tie you down, to keep you stuck in this cycle of scarcity, but God says it's time for multiplication. What seemed like loss will become the very seed of your testimony. What you thought was stolen will come back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. As we move forward in this message, I want you to hold on to this truth. The attack was real, but the victory that God is about to give you is even more real. You are about to witness doors that you never expected to open, opportunities that were once out of reach suddenly coming to you, and a shift in your financial life that will testify to the world that it was the hand of God that brought you through. Stay with me, because what's coming next will change everything. Now that you've declared your faith by liking this video, let's move into something that's about to shift your entire perspective. God is not only working in the financial realm, but he is also about to restore and protect what's most precious to you, your home, your family, and the peace that you've been longing for. You may feel like you've been through the storm, financial storms, relational storms, emotional storms. The winds may have howled, and the rain may have poured relentlessly. But here's the truth. When God steps into the situation, the storm can't destroy what he has built. Think about it. When the enemy tries to attack your finances, he doesn't just want to take away your money. He wants to break your home apart. He aims to stir up arguments over bills, sow discord in your marriage, and make your children feel insecure about their future. The devil wants to turn your household into a battlefield where fear and uncertainty rule the day. But God's plan is different. He is saying to you right now, your home will be guarded. Imagine your house as a fortress, not made of brick and mortar, but made of God's presence and His unshakable protection. You've been through the chaos, the tension, and the fear of the unknown. But now, today, God is reinforcing your walls. He is putting a hedge of protection around you and your family, like a strong, invisible barrier that the enemy can't penetrate. No matter how hard the winds blow or how much the enemy tries to tear down your peace, your home is secure in the hands of the Almighty. This divine protection isn't just about physical safety. It's about the safety of your spirit, your emotions, and the well-being of your family. God is actively placing His angels around your home, not just watching, but guarding every area of your life. Your marriage, your children, your health, and your future are under His divine cover. When the enemy attempts to break in, he will find nothing but walls of protection built on the foundation of God's Word. Think of the story of the Israelites in the desert. They were surrounded by nothing, no food, no water, no visible hope. But God didn't just give them food. He gave them a lesson that His provision goes beyond the material. God Himself was their protection and provision. He was their cloud by day and their fire by night. And in the same way, God is covering you right now. Your foundation has been built on a rock, and though the storms may rage, you will remain unshaken. Let's get personal for a moment. Perhaps you've been in the middle of conflict at home. Arguments have erupted over money, uncertainty, and the weight of the pressure you're feeling. But I want you to hear this. God is restoring peace in your home. The enemy wanted to use your finances to tear your relationships apart, to plant seeds of bitterness, fear, and hopelessness. But God is replacing those seeds with seeds of peace, unity, and love. Can you imagine it? A home where the walls are filled with laughter, not tension. A table where food is shared in joy, not in fear of what's to come. God is not only bringing financial restoration, but He's also healing the emotional wounds that have come from this trial. He's binding your family together with a stronger bond than before. Your home is becoming a sanctuary of peace. I want you to picture your home like a house in the middle of a violent storm. The winds are howling, the rain is battering against the walls, and the thunder roars. Yet inside that house, all is calm. The windows may shake and the roof may creak, but inside, you and your loved ones are safe. That's how God is making your home feel now. Secure, safe, and peaceful in the middle of every storm that comes your way. And when God protects your home, it's not just about protection from the outside world. He is also protecting your hearts from the inside. The devil tries to infiltrate your thoughts, your worries, and your doubts, but God is protecting your heart, giving you peace where fear once lived. Your family may have felt divided or weakened by life struggles, but God is restoring your unity, the love that seemed distant, the forgiveness that felt impossible, the trust that was broken. God is healing all of it. So, when you look around your home, don't just see the struggles or the past arguments. See the peace of God that is settling in. See His presence moving in your midst, making your home a place of refuge and restoration. What once seemed broken is now being mended, piece by piece, by the hand of Creator. In the coming days, you will begin to notice something profound happening in your household. Peace where there was chaos, harmony where there was division, joy where there was sorrow. This isn't just a momentary change. It's a permanent transformation because God has moved into your home and He doesn't leave. And remember, this isn't just about the material things. God is also restoring the spiritual and emotional security of your home. He's healing your hearts, mending relationships, and bringing unity where there once was strife. No matter what has happened, your home is protected, your family is secure, and the peace of God is being established in every corner. By now, you've heard the good news. God is not only protecting you in your home, but He is also preparing something far greater than just a financial fix. He is about to open the floodgates of heaven and pour out blessings over your life. Blessings that will overflow into every area, not just in your finances, but in every corner of your existence. God is preparing supernatural provision for you, and it's coming faster than you think. I want you to imagine something for a moment. You've worked hard, sacrificed, and done everything you could to make ends meet. Perhaps you've been living with the weight of financial struggle hanging over you, believing that scarcity is your only reality. But hear this. God has never intended for you to live in lack. He never designed you to be bound by the chains of scarcity. and he is about to break those chains once and for all. Let's take a moment to reflect on a powerful story from the Bible, the story of the widow of Zarephath. She was in a dire situation, with nothing but a small amount of flour and oil left. She thought it was the end, that she and her son would die from hunger. But then God sent the prophet Elijah to her with a promise. He told her that her little supply would not run out until the rains returned. And sure enough, when she trusted God, what little she had was transformed into an abundant supply. God multiplied her oil and flour in a supernatural way. And just like that, God is about to multiply what you have. What may seem small and insufficient, right now is going to become more than enough. The enemy wanted you to believe that what you have in your hands is enough, that your resources are too limited to make a difference. But God says, trust me, and I will make the little you have more than enough. Think about how the widow's obedience to God led her into abundance. God didn't just restore her provision, he multiplied it. The same thing is happening for you. Right now, you may feel like you're just scraping by, holding on to the last few pieces of hope. But I want you to declare with me, God's provision is coming and it will overflow. This is the supernatural provision I'm talking about. It's not just about getting by. It's about walking in abundance. When God steps into a situation, he doesn't just fix it. He transforms it. He takes your little and makes it much, just like the loaves and fishes that were multiplied in the hands of Jesus. The miracle isn't in the amount you see. It's in the trust you place in him to multiply it. This kind of provision doesn't come from your own strength or your own plans. This is divine provision, something that only God can bring into your life. Maybe you've been looking at your bank account, your job, or your resources and thinking, there's no way I can make it through this. But I want you to shift your focus today. Don't look at what's in your hand. Look at what's in God's hand. Because what he has for you is more than enough to not only meet your needs, but to overflow into the lives of others as well. Picture this, a river that's been dammed up, its water trapped and contained. But now, the dam is breaking. The water is rushing out, flooding the fields, nourishing the dry land, and bringing new life to everything it touches. That's the supernatural provision God is bringing into your life right now. It's not just about filling up your bank account. It's about bringing life, peace, joy, and restoration into every area that's been dry and barren. When God's provision shows up, it doesn't just take care of you. It creates a flow of blessings that will touch those around you, your family, your friends, your community. People will begin to see the abundance of God in your life. And as they do, they will be encouraged and strengthened by your testimony. Just like the widow shared her miracle with others, your testimony will bring glory to God and inspire others to trust in his faithfulness. And this provision isn't just for a moment. It's continuous. Remember the Israelites in the desert. For 40 years, God provided manna for them every single day. Every day, God made sure they had enough. Not only did they not go hungry, but their shoes and clothes didn't wear out. God's provision is constant and unending. And that's what he has for you. Even when it seems like there's not enough to go around, he will keep supplying. His blessings will keep flowing, even in seasons of drought. It's time for you to step into this new season of provision. God has set the table for you, and he's inviting you to partake in his abundance. You've been through the struggle, and you've held on in faith. Now, the breakthrough is here. This is the moment when God is multiply your resources, opening doors that you couldn't open on your own, and bringing opportunities that seemed impossible. Take a deep breath and receive this promise. God is not just meeting your needs. He is multiplying your provision. What you thought was a limitation is about to become a testimony of his goodness. Get ready to see miracles unfold in your life, because with God, all things are possible. Now that we've seen how God is protecting you and restoring abundance in your life, let's dive deeper into something crucial that you need to understand. The financial battles you've been facing are not just about money. They're spiritual in nature. The enemy's strategy goes far beyond your bank account, your job, or the debts you're trying to pay off. When the enemy attacks your finances, he's not simply targeting your material possessions. He's aiming directly at your soul, at your faith, your peace of mind, and your trust in God's promises. It's easy to see financial struggles and think, this is just bad luck, or this is just how life is right now. But the truth is, the enemy uses financial battles as a weapon to weaken your spirit, sow fear in your heart, and undermine your confidence in God's provision. He wants you to be anxious, to feel uncertain, to doubt that God is still in control. But I'm here to remind you that this battle is spiritual, and you are not fighting alone. Think of it this way. When the enemy attacks your finances, he's not just trying to deplete your resources. He's trying to destroy your sense of security. He's trying to make you believe that your worth is tied to your wealth, your comfort, or your ability to provide for yourself. But God has a different story for you. Your worth is not determined by the size of your bank account. It's defined by your relationship with Him. The enemy knows that when you're stressed about money, when you're worried about paying the bills or providing for your family, it becomes harder to focus on your faith. That's why he tries to keep you trapped in the cycle of fear and worry. When you're consumed with financial anxiety, it becomes difficult to pray, to trust, and to remain in peace. But God says, I am your provider. He is the one who gives you everything you need, and He is the one who can break the chains that are binding your finances. Think of Job, for example. Job was a man who lost everything, his wealth, his health, his family. Everything was taken from him in an instant. But even in the face of his suffering, Job never lost his faith. He knew that God was still his provider. Despite all the attacks, despite the financial and personal devastation, Job remained faithful, and in the end, God restored everything to him and more. This is a powerful reminder. The enemy can take things away from you, but he cannot take your faith. Your faith is your greatest asset, and it's what the enemy fears most. When the enemy attacks your finances, he's not just aiming to strip you of material things. He's trying to strip you of your dignity and your sense of worth. Because money represents more than just what you can buy. It represents time spent working, the effort you put into building your life, and the dreams you've invested in. Every penny, every dollar, is a reflection of your time, effort, and hope. So when the enemy tries to attack your finances, he's not just targeting your wallet. He's trying to make you feel like all that effort was in vain. But hear me when I say this. God sees every effort you've made, every hour you worked, every prayer you prayed in the silence of the night. He is not unaware of the struggles you've faced, and nothing you've done has been forgotten. God is a God of justice, and He will not let the enemy's plan succeed. What you've sown you will reap, and not just in finances, but in peace, in restored relationships, and in renewed faith. Now, let me tell you something powerful. The enemy may have thought that he could defeat you through financial stress, but God is using that very attack to strengthen you. The battle you're facing isn't just an attack on your finances. It's an opportunity for God to show you His unfailing faithfulness. It's an opportunity for you to trust Him on a deeper level. It's a chance for your faith to grow, for your peace to be unshaken, and for God to show you just how powerful He is in the midst of your struggle. You see, the enemy doesn't understand one thing. He doesn't know how God works. He thinks that by attacking your finances, he's bringing you to the breaking point. But what the enemy doesn't realize is that God uses the attacks to strengthen your faith, to teach you to rely on Him and not on the things of this world. Every time the enemy strikes, God uses it as an opportunity to build your spiritual muscles, to teach you to trust, to grow in perseverance, and understand that He is your true source of provision. And just as God used Joseph's struggles to elevate him to a position of authority, He will use this financial attack to elevate you as well. Joseph was betrayed by his own brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and forgotten in prison. But in the end, he was promoted to second in command of all Egypt. God used the attacks on Joseph's life to fulfill His greater purpose. Similarly, the struggles you're facing right now are not the end of your story. They are the beginning of God's promotion in your life. You may not understand how or when, but know this. The enemy's attack on your finances will not go unanswered. God is moving behind the scenes, working in ways you cannot yet see, preparing the victory that is coming to you. When the enemy attacks your finances, it's not just about what you've lost. It's about what God is about to restore and multiply. The enemy may have thought he was defeating you, but in reality, he's only preparing the stage for God's glory to shine even brighter. So don't give up. Your faith will carry you through. The battle is not over. God is using this moment of financial strain to teach you how to trust Him in every area of your life. He is building something far greater than just financial provision. He is building an unshakable faith that will carry you into every new season of abundance He has for you. Now that we've uncovered the spiritual roots behind the battles you faced, let's dive deeper into something incredibly powerful: the breaking of financial curses and the overwhelming power of God's restoration in your life. The enemy has tried for so long to create a cycle of lack, scarcity, and limitation in your life. But today, God is breaking those curses. He is rewriting your financial story, restoring what has been stolen, and multiply your blessings in ways that you couldn't even imagine. You may have experienced generational cycles of poverty, hardship, and struggle. Maybe you've seen these patterns passed down through generations, an endless loop of financial challenges that seem to have no end. This isn't just a matter of bad luck or poor decisions. This is a spiritual stronghold that the enemy has established over your life. And today it's coming down. Let's look at the story of the Israelites once more. For years, they lived in bondage in Egypt, under the weight of slavery, oppression, and scarcity. The enemy had them in a financial and spiritual stronghold, and no matter how hard they worked, they were never able to experience true freedom or abundance. But when God heard their cries, He raised up Moses to lead them out of Egypt. God broke their financial and spiritual curses, and He led them to a land of promise and prosperity, a place where their blessings would flow like milk and honey. This is the same kind of liberation that God has for you today. Whatever financial curses have been operating in your life, God is cutting them off. The enemy has tried to lock you into cycles of lack, debt, and missed opportunities. He's used generational patterns to convince you that you'll always struggle in the same way your parents or grandparents did. But God is declaring that stops now. The Word says in Galatians 3, verse 13, that Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law. That includes every curse of poverty, lack, and limitation. Jesus has already paid the price for your freedom, and His work on the cross has broken the power of every financial curse that has tried to hold you back. This is a moment for you to receive the freedom that Christ has already won for you. Now, let's talk about what God is doing right now. When God breaks a curse, He doesn't just remove it. He restores and multiplies what was lost. Restoration is God's business, and He is about to restore your finances in ways you never thought possible. The enemy thought he could steal your future by stealing your finances, but God is restoring not just what you've lost, but more than you could ever imagine. He is making the years that the locusts have eaten come back to life, and He's bringing about a financial miracle that will astound you. You see, restoration isn't just about getting back to where you were before. It's about going beyond where you were. It's about moving from survival to abundance, from lack to overflow, from just getting by to thriving in every area of your life. God is not just trying to put things back in place. He's upgrading you. He's setting you up for a future that is filled with promise, opportunity, and more than enough. I want you to picture this. You've been living in a house with a leaky roof. Your finances have been patching up, but the holes keep reappearing. But now, God is not just patching the leaks. He's building you a new house. A house that is secure, that is built on His promises, and that has no more leaks, no more fear, and no more lack. God is providing the resources for you to rebuild, and He's going to show you the way. If you've been battling debt, feeling like you'll never get ahead, let me remind you of God's promise. He is a God of restoration, and He will provide in ways you cannot yet imagine. This isn't just a financial breakthrough. This is a breakthrough in your entire life. God is taking the very thing the enemy used to bind you, and He is turning it into a testimony of His goodness. It's time for you to claim the truth. You are no longer a slave to financial curses. You are free. And not only are you free, but you are positioned for overflow. God is not only going to take care of your immediate needs, but He is preparing you to be a blessing to others. When God blesses you, He doesn't do it just for your benefit. He does it so you can be a vessel of His provision to those around you. You are being equipped to bless your family, your community, and those who are in need. What you're about to see is the result of God's favor and provision. Doors that were once closed will be wide open, and opportunities that seemed out of reach will now be yours for taking. God is breaking every financial curse and replacing it with His divine blessing. You will experience His favor in a tangible way, and you will see the transformation in your finances, your relationships, and your health. In this moment, as you receive this word, begin to declare it over your life. Speak life into your finances. Declare restoration. Say, God, I receive your supernatural provision, and I believe that every curse of lack is broken off of my life. I receive your abundance, and I walk in your promises. God's plan for your life is not to leave you in lack. He's leading you into a season of abundance, and this is just the beginning. As he breaks the financial curses, he will also begin to open new doors for you. Doors to new jobs, new business opportunities, and new sources of income. You're stepping into a season of supernatural favor and financial restoration. As we move deeper into this powerful message, it's essential to understand that while God is pouring out his blessings and breaking financial curses, there's one crucial key that unlocks the door to these blessings: faith and obedience. You see, God's promises are not just given automatically. There's a partnership between God's divine provision and our faith-filled obedience. Let's take a moment to explore the role of faith in the process of receiving God's blessings. Faith is not just about hoping for the best. It is about believing in the unseen, trusting in God's promises even when the situation doesn't look favorable. Faith is what keeps you moving forward, even when your finances look bleak, when bills pile up, and when the pressure feels overwhelming. Faith is what allows you to look beyond the natural and see the supernatural provision that God is already preparing for you. Remember the story of Abraham and how God called him to leave everything he knew and go to a land that he would show him. Abraham didn't have a map. He didn't have a clear picture of what the future held, but he obeyed. He took that first step of faith. And in return, God made a covenant with him that would bless not only him, but also his descendants for generations to come. Abraham's faith was not just in God's ability to provide, but in his timing and his plans. When you obey God, even when you don't have a full picture, you're stepping into a trust that transcends the natural and aligns you with God's divine purposes. Just like Abraham, God is calling you to step out in faith. Maybe you've been struggling with financial uncertainty for so long that you've lost sight of the bigger picture. But today, I want to encourage you to have the same faith that Abraham had. Even when everything around you seems to be telling you that there's no way out, God is asking you to believe in his plan. He is asking you to trust him with your finances, with your future, and with your family. And when you do that, God will open doors that no one can shut, and he will bring you into the fullness of the blessings he has prepared for you. But let's be clear. Faith alone is not enough. Faith is powerful, but it must be accompanied by obedience. The Bible says in James 2, verse 26, "Faith without works is dead." Faith alone does not move mountains. It is your obedience that activates God's provision. When you step out in obedience, even when the situation doesn't make sense, you are demonstrating to God that you trust him above all else. Take a look at the story of the widow who gave all she had in Mark 12, verses 41 to 44. She didn't have much, only 2 small coins, but she gave what she had because she trusted God completely. Jesus praised her faith and obedience, saying that she gave more than all the rich people who gave out of their abundance because she gave in faith, believing that God would provide. This story shows us that obedience is not about the amount you give, but about the heart behind it. It's about saying, God, I trust you, and I believe that what I have is enough because you are enough. Now, I know you may be thinking, I've been obedient and I've trusted God, but my financial situation still seems the same. This is where perseverance comes into play. Sometimes the blessings and breakthroughs don't come overnight, but they will come. God works in his timing, and he has a purpose for every season you walk through. Your obedience today will lead to the harvest tomorrow. Think of a farmer who plants seeds in the ground. He doesn't immediately see the results, but he knows that in due time, the seeds will grow and the harvest will come. Your obedience is like planting those seeds. You may not see the fruit right away, but God is working behind the scenes. When you continue to sow seeds of faith, trust, and obedience, he will bring the increase. What you sow today, you will reap tomorrow, and the harvest will be abundant. God honors those who trust him with their resources and step out in obedience. And his provision is not just for you alone. It will overflow to those around you. Think about the story of the Good Samaritan. The Samaritan didn't just offer help. He went above and beyond to ensure the man was cared for. In doing so, he was blessed. Your obedience to God's promptings, whether it's giving, serving, or trusting in Him during tough times, is a blessing in itself. It doesn't just change your situation, it changes the lives of those around you. And that is the essence of God's kingdom, blessing others while you are being blessed. The key takeaway here is this: God's blessings are unlocked through a combination of faith and obedience. When you trust His promises, when you put your faith in His ability to provide, and when you obey His leading, you are positioning yourself for an outpouring of blessings that will not only meet your needs, but will exceed your expectations. So, what does this mean for you today? I challenge you to take the next step in faith and obedience. Maybe it's trusting God with your finances in a new way, giving a little more than you thought you could, or stepping out into an opportunity that seems risky, but is where God is calling you. Whatever it is, take that step. Trust that God has already gone before you, and that His provision will meet you where your faith and obedience lead you. As you step into this new season of faith and obedience, watch how God begins to move. Watch how doors open that no man can shut. Watch how your finances begin to align with His promises. And remember this: God's blessing is not just about what you receive. It's about the testimony you will share with others of His faithfulness. So go ahead, take that step of faith and obedience, and watch as God opens the floodgates of heaven over your life.